What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video. And of course, many of you watching this are like, where's Lions franchise offseason? I'm going to be streaming that today on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Bengal. The link is in the description. But if you're watching this later or you don't care about that, you want to know this actual video, we're going to be doing a series I did last year, which is finding out what these amazing rookies could potentially end up being. Now, some of them are not going to work out. And in order for that to, I think, take a more organic approach, I don't think I'm going to change the playbooks, which have an immense effect on player statistics. I'm also not running the team. So Trevor Lawrence may not be re-signed by the Jaguars, and we're going to see what other team he goes to, and maybe it's a different playbook. Maybe he has better success there, or maybe he's great in Jacksonville. We're going to find out. But Trevor Lawrence, of course, rookie quarterback out of Clemson, only 21 years old. I think he does have superstar development, and he's got decent core attributes as well. Throw power's pretty great for a rookie. Pretty decent accuracy in general, too. I'm surprised that the short accuracy is so much better than deep accuracy, considering how awesome his deep ball was at Clemson. But yeah, great overall athlete. You just don't find someone that moves the way he can at 6'6". He's just an awesome prospect. And it should be really fun to follow his career, and hopefully he is not ruined in Jacksonville. But a decent group of players around him, at least in Madden, and we're going to see what the career trajectory of Trevor Lawrence ends up looking like. So if you guys want to see more career sims, let me know down in the comment section below. I think I did probably around 10 last year of the biggest rookies, like Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson, Chase Young. You know, you guys can go look at those if you want on Madden 21. But I think I'm going to do the rookies again on Madden 22, starting off with none other than the #1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. Let's go ahead and simulate to the playoffs and see how he performs in year #1. Also should mention for the Lions offseason, I will be tweeting out exactly when it is on twitter.com/BengalYouTube. The link is also in the chat. So if you want a more concrete time, I'm recording this on the day. So if you want the actual time, twitter.com/BengalYouTube. That link, of course, is in the description as well. Jaguars not exactly performing the best, going 6-11. Also, the scouting update is into the game now for everybody, including myself. People thought I had the update early. There is a test version of the game. So it couldn't actually be in any of my franchises. I just got to test it out for the video. So that's what that is. Also, Back for Blood, it's like the old Left 4 2 games. I'm going to be streaming that on Twitch probably tonight as well. Busy day. Got to record my podcast in a bit. That's in the description too. Couch Quarterbacks on Spotify, Apple. I know it seems like a lot of ads, but some of it is relevant and it's all me. So why not, right? But let's go ahead and check out year #1 for Trevor Lawrence. And he wasn't particularly bad. I mean, great for a rookie. The interceptions is a little higher than you'd want, but it isn't terrible. Less than 1 per game. 28 touchdowns. Did throw for over 4,000 yards considerably. Smack an extra 350 on that. And then as a rusher, did have 3 rushing touchdowns, over 200 yards on the ground. Not a bad year when Marvin Jones is your #1 guy. I think Marvin Jones is good. He's been underutilized on this Jacksonville offense for sure in real life. I love Marvin Jones. I thought he was about a top 30 receiver last year, but so far, his new team, going from the Lions to the Jaguars, he hasn't been particularly involved. As the offensive rookie of the year is Mac Jones, beating out Trevor Lawrence very slightly. Was he in the conversation for best quarterback? He was at 10, but won't get MVP votes or anything like that. Just not an unbelievable year to get in there, but he's also a 75 overall. That's going to be going up a little bit now, so there's a lot of room for growth, and we will see what his overall starts at next season. So Trevor Lawrence development trait is revealed as superstar. He's up to an 80 overall, which is quite nice. We see the short accuracy up 4. Deep accuracy remains mostly unchanged. Throw power is up a bit. Medium accuracy goes up as well. So he definitely is improving, just not deep down the field. That deep accuracy is coming along a little bit slower. And the team drafted a running back. Tell me this was not the first pick. Tell me the Jags didn't take another unneeded running back in the first round. Second round. Still, like, not good. But at least they didn't take him in the first. What was the first round pick of this team? Ooh. Drafted a pretty good defensive tackle, Devontae Rogers. He looks awesome, actually. He looks unreal. I'm guessing this was the first round pick. Right? Yep, number 5 overall. Looks phenomenal. And then this left outside linebacker doesn't look too bad either. Maybe a little bit better than K'Lavon Chason. He doesn't even really fit the scheme at all. But is decent for sure. But anyway, that's not the focus of this video. I do want to see when the team puts players around Trevor Lawrence. I do have development trait regression on as well. So Marvin Jones lost star. Gerald Everett was brought into the team, as well as David DeCastro. But not really a lot to help Trevor Lawrence out on offense. Alan Lazard brought in as well. The team upgraded the defense in a lot of different ways, but we'll see how much that actually impacts this team and Trevor Lawrence development. Let's go ahead and see how season number 2 goes in 2022. A little bit better for the Jags here in season 2, going 8-9. However, still out of the playoffs, just a little bit closer. A little bit closer, that's for sure. We'll check out the stats here for T-Law. And he was definitely a little bit better. A few more yards, more touchdowns, fewer interceptions, although they are very slight upgrades in all those categories. Still 7.5 yards per attempt. It's up to an 83 overall. Not amazing, but the accuracies are definitely improving a lot. I mean, short accuracy, how long before that's at a 99? Deep accuracy is approaching the 90s. Or excuse me, medium accuracy is. Deep accuracy is going to get there probably 3 years away. It could be more, could be less, but I'd say about 3 years away from being in the 90s. I don't think traits can change, but it is nice that he has tight spiral. He's the 13th ranked quarterback in the league right now, and he's only 23 years old. So I would say this pace is pretty good right now. Obviously, with the quarterback position, you don't see a lot of guys break out until they get closer to 30. I think we've been treated more recently to these just young stud quarterbacks, but that isn't always the case. Traditionally, it certainly isn't. As a runner, did average more yards per carry, 228 yards and 2 touchdowns this year. Didn't fumble. We like that. But he still doesn't have a ton to work with. I think if the CPU, and Marvin Jones was pretty great, by the way, but I think if the CPU can draft a big-time receiver, like Laviska Shenault's a cool player. I'm not sure he's ever going to be one of the best receivers in the league. I think he's a really, really fun player. Like, he does a lot for the Jags. He did a lot of Colorado. He was a wildcat quarterback at times. He's a guy that can run the ball out of the backfield, can catch the ball as a receiver. He's just a jack-of-all-trades type player, in my opinion, more so than a master of anything. But that can be extremely useful. It just really isn't a true number 1 receiver, and maybe he develops into that, but I don't think he's really all that right now. It could happen. I like him a lot as a player. I really don't want to get that confused. I really do like him, but I don't know that he's ever going to be one of the top receivers in the league, the way that we would really like to see Trevor Lawrence get paired with a top receiver for this video and really see his progression and development. I think that would help a lot. Like, Joe Burrow is going to end up taking a massive step here in year 2 for him, like year 1.5 almost with the injury. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to Jamar Chase. Servers go down every single time that you're doing a simulation through the offseason. Really, really annoying, but is what it is. This is interesting. So James Robinson's up to superstar. And the running back they drafted, Tremaine Burton, is superstar development as well. The thing that's interesting to me, though, is there are star development players that you wouldn't normally expect to be. Like Deshaun Kent, normally you wouldn't see a 61 overall vertical threat tight end have star dev, but he does. And normally, I guess you could see a rookie tackle have it that's not particularly highly rated. But Tommy Savage could end up being okay. I don't know who he will end up replacing. Did they sign Cam Robinson to a long-term deal? That's going to change a lot. I would bet that they did. He's only on a 1-year deal, so maybe they franchise tagged him again. Could have happened. So he might end up replacing Cam Robinson, but I'm not even sure if he'll ever end up starting because Walker Little exists. So that's an interesting kind of thing there. But we shall see what happens. Some development traits have been stripped away. Griffin went down. Randy Gregory went down. Shaquille Griffin, I mean, it's so tough to take away superstar dev from a corner. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, you can be a great corner and not even get targeted, and then you don't get the interceptions or even pass deflections required to keep your development trait. I don't know. Not ideal. But for Trevor Lawrence, I think he's still going to be an 83 overall where we checked him last season. So nothing changes with him. These are just his attributes right now. So remember those, and we'll see what happens in 2023. See, this is more like it. This is where we want to be. This is progression. 11-6 here in 2023, and I'm sure Trevor Lawrence was a big reason why. Well, that would be my guess. I think the defense probably took a step up as well. But as you can see, Trevor Lawrence threw for more yards and more touchdowns than season 1. I think the yards are slightly less. Was it like 4,500 in... No, it was even slightly more. More touchdowns, although more interceptions as well. More yards per attempt. So I think he is improving. It seems like he was a little bit more aggressive with the football. He is up to an 86 overall, 89 with morale. It's nice that the team's performing well. And you can see that deep accuracy is really on the rise. Short accuracy is playing up to a 96, medium 92, deep accuracy 88, and that's only playing up +1. So his accuracy in general is improving a lot. He's still not quite there yet. I think next season should certainly be his best, because he's going to be into the 90s by that point probably. And who knows, with a good playoff run here, as he rushed for 150 and 2 touchdowns, with a good playoff run, that's more XP to get upgraded. That's potentially higher morale as well to play at a higher level. Nobody over 1,000 yards. I just wish this team would bring in like a superstar caliber receiver, and that could be through the draft. It could be through free agency. I want them to be serious about competing, as we'll see what happens here in the wild card round of the playoffs. And the Jags lose to the Chargers 24-21, and the offseason is underway. So let's see where we are now. Trevor Lawrence is at an 86 overall, superstar dev. So of course the morale is eliminated now after last season. So he's back down to an 86. It was at an 89. And his accuracy is, again, it's so close to being where we need it to be. I think 90 plus is generally what you'd look for. But overall, he's looking pretty good. And did the team do anything to surround him with talent or no? I would guess probably not. But it is possible. We're slightly below an 80 overall. Looked like 79 offense and defense. And they brought in Van Jefferson. Kelvin Harmon and Marvin Jones is still sticking around. Savage had star dev. They drafted another offensive lineman, a center, who, I don't know, eventually where he's going to play, maybe right guard for this team. I'm not changing anything as well, but they can just be in there in the depth chart if they're high enough overall. And then defensively, I don't even know what they drafted. I mean, nothing looks particularly great here. Maybe they took this linebacker in the first round. It's possible. It wouldn't have been the highest pick in the world. He didn't even play in 2024. So he was, oh, that would be a preseason. Never mind. We're in 2024. So yeah, that was the first round pick. Maybe not the best. It'd be nice to focus on offense for once, but we'll see how 2024 goes. Another playoff berth. 3 teams in the South went 9-8. And we happen to make the playoffs out of the bunch. I say we, but you know, the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is putting up very, very similar numbers every year. They're like almost identical, give or take, like a few interceptions, a few touchdowns, and a few 100 yards. So that is a little bit disappointing. He is up to an 88 overall, and the accuracies, as we pointed out earlier, are very, very close to being all 90 plus, which is very nice. But he doesn't really have a lot to work with. guys remember Eddie Royal, a receiver on the Broncos? He's like, can I copy your homework? Oh yeah, sure, but make sure it's not too close. That guy. Rushing, had 237 yards and a touchdown, average over 4 per carry. Like, not incredible as a quarterback. Usually you see that be a little bit higher. And then Marvin Jones is the clear receiver 1 in this whole situation somehow. But he doesn't look particularly great. Still, he's really old, and they're just rocking with him. As we have Jags, Raiders. We have home field advantage despite losing 3 more games, and looks like the better team won. 35-27 was your final. And so far, Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars have not made it to a divisional playoff game yet. The defense took a step back, but the offense took a step forward. Did they bring in anyone big on offense? Rondale Moore, I guess, would qualify. Burton lost his superstar dev, by the way, and Travis Etienne is gone. Bringing in Rondale Moore is interesting. He's only got normal development, but he does bring in a lot of speed and a huge deep threat potential. Also, this young receiver, Drew Josephson, 96 speed. We're building a track team around Trevor Lawrence. I don't mind it. So, you know what? Maybe the addition of Rondale Moore is going to help a little bit. Maybe he'll get up to star dev or something similar. See, the defense brought in Leonard Williams, Khalid Kareem's in here, Kevin Byard. I don't know if they're going to be in position to win the division or not. We just need Trevor Lawrence to continue to improve. I almost fear that we've reached kind of, I don't want to say like a plateau, but like kind of. You see his career numbers approaching 20,000 yards, and will probably be at, you know, well over 20,000 yards and 150 touchdowns by season's end. So we'll go ahead and put more emphasis into the legacy leaderboard and career stats as his career goes on. We're still really, really young into it. This is going to be a big year for him, though. It's 2025, which means what? He is coming up to the end of his rookie deal. I think fifth-year options might still be broken. Would love for them to finally fix that. But this is going to be a big season because maybe this team doesn't re-sign him. I think they probably do. I think they probably sign him for like a 7-year deal. But maybe they don't. Maybe Trevor Lawrence hits free agency, and maybe he goes somewhere else. Well, it was a brutal year. The team was the 27th best scoring offense in the league. Not ideal. Went 5-12. Really, really, really bad. Trevor Lawrence is being ruined in Jacksonville. 20 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. Just over 4,000 yards passing. This was not a particularly good year. James Robinson was really solid, but this offense was quite poor. And it's amazing that LaMarcus Hodges is getting targeted as much as he is. This is brutal. That was just really, really, really not good. And he's going down in terms of morale. He's at a 90 overall, but his accuracies are being diminished here because the team was so unsuccessful. Deep accuracy was approaching the 90s, is being held back a little bit. Just a really, really bad season. And one that you hope he can bounce back from. But let's go ahead and check out the team salaries here. And check out Trevor Lawrence's contract in particular. That's going to be the big one we focus on, obviously. So he did actually sign a big contract extension. His fifth-year options are broken. I guess he would have signed that contract extension last season. And it is a big one. $172 million over 6 years. And that's going to get as much as $36 million in 2028. So Trevor Lawrence is without question under contract until 2028, unless the team trades him, which I would highly doubt. We're going to be going into 2026 here, so we have at least 3 more years of Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. We'll see what happens. Decided to simulate a little bit further into the start of the year here, and we're 2-1. Not doing all that badly. And the offense, again, seems to have taken a large step up to an 83 overall. Let's go ahead and check out the team surrounding Trevor Lawrence here. Did you finally bring in a big receiver? No. They drafted a quarterback. Oh my goodness, this is the beginning of the end. Urban Meyer drafted an Ohio State QB. Tell me he was not a first-round pick. Tell me. Oh my God, they took him at number 2. The logic for drafting in this game is so bad. You have a 91 overall, 26-year-old quarterback, and they're taking a QB at number 2. Why, dude? Why? Please fix that. It's so bad. It's so bad. Instead of actually making the team better, we got a backup at number 2 overall that will never play unless Trevor Lawrence is not re-signed in 2028. Maybe this is the beginning of the end for him, but that is ridiculous. But that being said, the team had its most successful season ever. 14-3. We're up to an 84 overall. 14-3 is going, really well. This is a major bounce back season. And oh my goodness, Trevor Lawrence got injured. I have injuries on because in real life, injuries happen. This team went 14-3 and Trevor Lawrence isn't even playing. How much of the season did he even play? What is his injury? Dislocated elbow. He's going to miss the entire playoffs. Oh my goodness. See, this is something we haven't seen. Okay, so he did play a significant amount of time, but he was, significantly outplayed by his backup, Keith Larkin, as a rookie. I don't know how many games this is over. I wish I could see games started. He was in 17 games. But we can assume, I guess, with 16 games played for Trevor Lawrence, that he started all but the last game of the season. Oh my goodness. 27 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Great year. A little bit lackluster on the touchdowns, but I assume James Robinson had a lot. 19. Trevor Lawrence added 5 rushing touchdowns of his own. Just about 4,000 yards. Would have gone over that if he had been starting the entire time. But a huge injury here. The Jaguars finally find a huge amount of success. And it's all maybe going to be for naught. Trevor Lawrence injured going into the playoffs. And now the Jaguars are forced to start a rookie quarterback, albeit when they took very high in the draft. And once again, his fate fares similarly to Trevor Lawrence, as the Jaguars are once again out in the wild card. James Robinson is up to superstar X Factor. Deion Dawkins was brought in. Ben Bredesen was brought in. I guess this team is developing, including this Nick Godfrey. Was that the tight end that the CPU drafted? Surely it wasn't, right? Surely, yeah, it was not. Because there was that lower overall tight end that you guys saw that did have star or better development. I don't know what his name was. Larkin as star dev. Trevor Lawrence is still sticking around. And I saw Terrace Marshall was brought in. But Trevor Lawrence, albeit getting injured at the end of last season, which would have been his best season ever, as far as I'm concerned, he looks to bounce back big time in 2027. 3 years left on the deal. He got an extra year in 2029 somehow. Did he get an imaginary extension? Not sure how that came about, but let's see what this guy can do. Unfortunate that he got injured at the end of last season, but this is the time to cancel all that away, have your biggest, best season in 2027, and then either earn a huge contract extension in the next couple of years or test free agency. Went 7-10. So this was not exactly a big bounce back year. Sean McDermott fired. Brutal. Wasn't exactly a big bounce back year though. Not what you would have liked to see. And James Robinson got hurt. That's probably a big reason why. Trevor Lawrence is approaching his 30s, not quite there yet, but his stats were as follows. Followed it. That's about what he's been doing. Touchdowns are back up into the 30s at 30 flat, 4,200 yards, 13 interceptions. If you do look by passer rating, though, it was, I guess, the second best year of his career. So it wasn't quite as good as he was last year. Did have an extra game. But it was his second best year ever, at least in terms of passer rating. So you'll take that. Rushing, 4.4 per carry, including a touchdown. It was just better last year in every sense in terms of production outside of just yards. Because, you know, obviously you get an extra game, your yards are going to go up. But touchdowns up only slightly. Just, I feel like, and I've been saying this the entire time so far, he's in need of a true number one, and he just hasn't had that. So the team did try to get him some help on offense, drafting a tight end fairly high, although I'm not sure that's exactly what we need. Have a pretty good tight end in there already. And then, you know, maybe took a defensive lineman. And I thought at first these were the same player. No, just the same face. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm hoping that Trevor Lawrence can really elevate and ascend this season. I think it's been a little bit since we checked in on his ratings, but he is pretty good, right? Like, he's a 93 overall. He's 28 years old, and his accuracy is incredible. 96 short, 94 medium, 92 deep. He's got 94 throw power. His throw under pressure approaches the 90s. Trevor Lawrence should be pretty legit by this point. Just got to elevate and ascend. This was a terrible season in 2028. It was really, really bad. 4-13. Let me just check the salaries one more time. Trevor Lawrence still locked here. I'm sure he's going to sign an extension as well. So this has him. See, this has the final year as 2028. Where did we see his contract previously? Where it had him under 2029. Oh, it still has. I don't know. I don't know why that's listed the way it is. That doesn't really make sense to me that he is under contract until 2029 or through 2029. There shouldn't be a value there, but there is in contracts. I think this is his final year here for sure with 1 year remaining, but also we didn't make the playoffs. So maybe it is 2029. I'll be honest, I'm slightly confused because the numbers are a little weird, but this team sucked. This team was really, really bad. Trevor Lawrence put up, you know, very similar numbers to what he had previously. As a rusher, didn't even add a touchdown. And the lack of a true number one is pretty obvious. See, I was hoping that Trevor Lawrence would be out of this just shit show in Jacksonville. Doesn't seem to be the case, as I'm expecting he signed a massive contract extension. So I do have this on auto. It says offer submitted for every single guy. But does that mean that Trevor Lawrence is in his final year? Because I don't know which one was right. Let's go to team salaries. So it says he has 1 year remaining. 2029. All right, so either he was franchise tagged or this is just the final year and the contract was a little buggy. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping Trevor Lawrence gets out of here. I'm hoping the Jags don't re-sign him. This has been a disaster. They finally bring in a receiver. Not a rookie. Just a vet who's not great. Rondell Moore's gone. They brought in another quarterback. Stop doing that, please. Why are they bringing in so many QBs? Why are you doing that? We'll simulate 2029. Get Trevor Lawrence out of Jacksonville, please. And the Jags roller coaster continues. 11-6. So the interesting thing about going 11-6 here is we only won 4 games last year. Almost win 3 times as many. How did that come about? Was Trevor Lawrence electric? Nope. was okay. 4,400 yards, you'll take that. 24 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Almost 8 yards per attempt. Like, it was a good year. Just, you want those touchdowns to be higher. But James Robinson is taking every one of these TDs. Every one of them. Which I guess, like, isn't really the worst thing. Like, the offense is still scoring. As LaVisca and Cameron Burrell both go over 1,000 yards. Both had only 4 touchdowns. Amari Rodgers with 5. You're just hoping for individually better results from Trevor Lawrence. But I'm telling you, I hope he gets out of Jacksonville. Can this team finally make it past the wild card round of the playoffs? Survey says no. Again, no. The 4th best offense over the year. The 7th best defense. And once again, the team comes up short. I hope Trevor Lawrence goes somewhere else. I really do. For his own sake, I hope he's not re-signed. Who did the team draft here? And is Trevor Lawrence still on the team? I hope not, but they drafted a running back. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. They Steelers that running back and then tight end. Oh, stop. This is going to be painful. It's going to be painful to see a 6-year deal. Oh, God. That's exactly what it is. $239 million over 6 years. He is under contract through 2035. Savings negative $69 million if we cut him. I should do him the favor. He's the 95 overall. At 30 now. 93 deep accuracy, 98 medium, 97 short, 96 awareness. He's killing it. He's killing it. The results just have not been there because of the playbook. That's really what it comes down to. And I'll be honest, I am very, very, very tempted to change it. I really am. Because we could actually make him incredibly successful if we do so. And would that not be a little bit more fun? I think it could be. I really do. But I don't know. Does it ruin the entire point? Does that make every career simulation feel identical if all of these quarterbacks are going to put up unbelievable numbers? But the numbers will vary year to year. It's maximizing their potential. So I am tempted to get it done. We're going to do one more season like this. If it's lackluster, I might make a change. Kansas City Chiefs playbook is just so good. I'm not sure if I'll choose that one or another one. Because there are some where you can find success where it's not just the same, like, extremely pass-heavy offense like Kansas City is in game. And in real life, too, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The Jags finished 3rd in the division, but did go 11-6, making the playoffs. This team has still never made it past the wild card. And we'll see what the numbers look like for Trevor Lawrence. Shockingly, much like the other years. Yeah, we're going to make a change because it's just rinse and repeat at this point. At least there's a little bit of variation in other books. James Robinson was very good. Orlando Blanton. Just another random free agent receiver. Really fast. His slot archetype has to be his main one, yeah. Just not much of a deep route runner, but everything else is, you know, like nearing borderline elite. We just got to mix it up. Got to make a change here. We'll see how far this team can go into the playoffs. I don't have the highest of hopes, just because we've seen what has happened every wild card, but maybe this time will be different. It wasn't. All right, we're making a change. We're making a change. So as you may have noticed, some time has passed. That's a thing. And I am finally going to change the playbook. What is it? West Coast. It's multiple power run. We're going to try out the Saints playbook. This scheme fit doesn't matter. I can promise you it doesn't matter. 100%. Some of you are going to be like, it matters. It doesn't matter at all. And it seems like actually it still fits our team more than the actual percentages would show. But trust me. Anyway, I was recording this and then I had to record my podcast, which is linked down below if you guys care about football. Couch Quarterbacks podcast with Wheels and Not the Expert. If you guys watch them on YouTube as well. Links down below. It's on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple, Anchor, and a YouTube video version with clips and stuff on that channel as well. But it is a few days. Came back to this. and I'm hoping for better results in the first half of this. I think we can probably, I don't want to assume, but I think we can probably surmise that this is about halfway through Trevor Lawrence's career. Maybe he plays into his 40s. I think he probably does. And he still looks really, really good. And maybe in a new playbook that still emphasizes getting the running back James Robinson involved, we're going to see more success for our guy T-Law here. So we'll see how 2031 goes. I've got high hopes that his production can at least increase. It's not Kansas City. It's not Carolina playbook even. But I've seen good results in the Saints playbook before. So we are going to mix things up. We're going to say that, you know what, maybe a new offensive coordinator's hired 10 years into his career, and maybe it results in phenomenal results. A lot of results going on in that sentence. And we did make the playoffs. I say we again. I'm just watching Trevor Lawrence's career play out. But the Jaguars went 12-5. Trevor Lawrence led the league in passing yards significantly. You know what's interesting about that is we had the first offense in the league. I'm just going to say we, and force of habit, it's easier. Usually you'll see, you know, Mahomes go crazy. Injuries are on. So maybe there were some injuries. But I don't know. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was unreal. 5,500 yards almost, 36 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. It's just peculiar because usually you see Patrick Mahomes like in the neighborhood of 6,000 passing yards, but here he is with sub 5K. 25 touchdowns is not a lot, all things considered. And you have the top quarterbacks playing about 1,000 downs played. Started 17 games. Maybe the Chiefs got a new coach and a new playbook. Those numbers from Patrick Mahomes and really a lot of these quarterbacks are quite strange, but we don't care about them. James Robinson was still super productive in receiving. Keith Hatchett into his 5th year now, and maybe this was his breakout year. He looks pretty good, especially down the field. This was clearly the favorite target of Trevor Lawrence. Caught over 120 passes, did have 9 touchdowns as well. Orlando Blanton, pretty involved too. You can see that the usual suspects for the Jaguars are out of here. Like no Laviska Shenault. Really the only pieces of this original Jaguars team that have, you know, stayed with this squad, it's James Robinson and Trevor Lawrence. The rest have either gone to do different things or have just gotten too old, regressed, and are maybe even out of the league by this point. But an unbelievable season nonetheless for Trevor Lawrence. This is a playoff team and the #1 offense in football. Usually the Chiefs offense is always #1, but maybe this Saints offense can be viable. As far as I remember, every single first game of the playoffs was a loss. Maybe that'll be different now. And it is. Trevor Lawrence has made it to the conference championship, and it's a battle of the 2021 quarterback class. #1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence versus a mid-first round quarterback in Mac Jones. Still a high pick, but not nearly the expectations of the #1 overall guy. The 11-6 Patriots head to TIAA Bank Field to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 game from the Super Bowl. Who will come out victorious? And it's Mac Jones. Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl rematch. See if the Falcons can not blow this one. But Trevor Lawrence, unfortunately, still has not been able to win the big one. I'm hoping this is not a Dan Marino-like career. I mean, okay, a Dan Marino-like career would still be awesome. He'd be a Hall of Famer, right? But you want to see him win the Super Bowl. You want to see him hoist the Lombardi. Hasn't even come close so far. Making the AFC Conference Championship, I guess, is as close as we've been. Obviously, first couple of playoff wins in 2031. But, we really haven't come close to actually winning it because we haven't even played in the Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence has got superstar X Factor. He's 32 years old, but has finally gone up. And these, I guess we can choose these abilities. No idea what they do in simulation as far as if they have any impact whatsoever. really don't know, and I expect that they don't, just based on, you know, playing the game for a number of years now with Superstar X Factors in. Just don't think it's going to do anything. So we'll keep him at run and gun. No idea. But he is up to a 96 overall. He is approaching the 99 club. Did he regress, though? No, he didn't. That's actually really nice to see. Because sometimes, you know, guys of his age will regress. But the game recognizes that Trevor Lawrence is clearly in his prime. He's looking really, really good. 93 deep accuracy, 97 for medium and short. And this could be the year that he goes up to a 99 overall. His main target from a season ago, Keith Hatchett, who I assume will be quite involved in this season as well, goes up to Superstar. Could be on the verge of a Superstar X Factor season with good numbers here. We'll see what happens in 2032. Let's get after it. I went the wrong way. There we go. Playoff time. Jaguars actually fell back a little bit. 8-9, did not make the playoffs. Not the year I was expecting at all. Although Trevor Lawrence still seems to be playing really, really well. Led the league in passing yards again. Also third in touchdowns in back-to-back seasons. And, you know, you'll take those numbers. 5,300 yards, 37 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. A very nice completion percentage at 69 there. And, okay, James Robinson is gone. Javonte Conley is a new workhorse. And then receiving, Keith Hatchett once again putting up very good numbers. Almost 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, over 100 catches. What did T-Law do on the ground? Pretty good yards per carry, but nothing exceptional. Touchdown as well. But no playoffs. No playoffs. Trevor Lawrence has a couple years left on his deal. He's going to be signed through 2034. It might be glitched on his actual player card, but I think 2 years left, 2033 and 2034. It looks like he's regressing. He's playing up to a 99, but did he actually regress here? He did. One offensive player of the year, but you know what? You've aged one calendar year. You're going to start being bad now. Despite being in his offensive prime statistically. So I don't love that. I'll never love that. Like at some point, I guess they do have to regress. I get that. But if they're a quarterback and they're in their early to almost mid 30s, that's okay. You can have your prime and not get worse. You can continue to get better. Another thing that frustrates me, like as long as they're producing, do not make them worse. My only thing. If they have a bad season, then I get that it's all playbook based. I don't want it to be. Some things will never change. The reason I simulate 10 years, by the way, and then cancel it, is in the past that has stopped the stupid disconnect from servers error after every offseason. Guess it's still going to happen no matter what I do. Have to go back to the main menu after every season. Every season for this so far. If I do 20 seasons, I'll be disconnected from the servers 20 times. Week 17 here. 9-6. Ahead in the division, though. This will be a playoff team. Maybe. You really need to beat the Rams here to guarantee that. Maybe the Texans could have a come from behind victory and win the division. They don't, though. They do, however, make the wild card at 9-8. Ooh. That is really interesting. Trevor Lawrence did not lead the league in passing yards this year. Was also a step back in touchdowns as well. But threw for almost 5,000 yards. 35 touchdowns to 14 picks. Still, you know, very good numbers. Accuracy is still great, but you can see he is getting a little bit worse. Even if morale is playing him up. Still, you know, very similar numbers to what you've seen on the ground so far. 16 TDs for the running back. And Keith Hatchett, who is now a Superstar X Factor, just balling out. Trevor Lawrence finally gets his receiver one. DeJuan Mitchell in there as well. The CPU loves to sign these random bum receivers. Like, they'll have their rookie deal. They'll play it out 4 years, hit free agency. Oh, they're a 77 and 26 years old. Let me sign them. 27? Let me sign them. Can't wait. But let's see if the Jags can beat the Texans in the wild card. Let's go, T-Law. Nope. Season over. It will be one more season, though, with the Jaguars guaranteed. It would be fun if you could ramp up some type of trade slider to make trades happen a little bit more frequently with the CPU. I found out recently that CPU trades do actually happen. They do. But no one would ever know about it because they're so minor, and they're always minor. Let's see here. Like, look at that. Second round pick to the Raiders for defensive tackle Aaron McIntosh. But think about it this way. It's like, oh, obviously in a realistic NFL, you're not going to see big players traded all the time. That's just not the way it works. I get that. But also, think about this. How many big name players do we see moved per year? This dude's name is George Washington. Excuse me. He owned slaves, by the way. There's Aaron McIntosh. As I just shit on the first president for no reason. But it's true. Why leave it out? 76 overall, 23-year-old defensive tackle. Nose tackle, by the way. Not even any pass rush to him at all. Like, it's not a bad trade. They don't really need him overall-wise, but with the age of Brewer and Kendricks, I guess it makes sense. But they have Nava in there as well, who's young and same overall. I don't really get it. I don't really. But again, think about this. How often do you see big name players moved per season? It's like one or two big name players a season. You think it's not, and then you really actually go back and look and you go, oh, okay, every year, big guys on the move, every year, without fault. So, like this season, Julio Jones was the big one. I'm probably missing something else as well, but that's just the first one that came to mind. And then I'm reading here a website that lists the top 10 biggest NFL trades of the past decade. This was written in 2019. Trent Richardson to the Colts in 2013. Now, I get that Trent Richardson was real bad, but also he was taken number 4 overall. Yeah, number 4 overall by the Browns in 2012, a year prior, and then was traded for a first-round pick to the Colts. So that was a huge trade at the time. Like, that's like if the Giants traded Saquon a year after they drafted him. That's the kind of trade that was. But obviously Saquon was effective his first year, so it isn't quite, the exact same. But it's the same idea. We have Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers in the league at the time, one or two at the lowest, traded to the Raiders. Giants traded Odell to the Browns. He was, again, one of the best receivers in the league at the time. Top 5-ish. Carson Palmer traded to the Raiders in 2011. 2012 first-round pick and 2013 second-round pick got that done. The Niners trading Alex Smith to the Chiefs. 2 second-round picks, one in 2013, one in 2014. The Titans trading up to get Jared Goff. 2016 first. 2 2016 seconds, 2016 third, a 2017 first, and a 2017 third round pick. You talk about unrealistic trades? Wake up. They happen in the NFL. Unrealistic trades happen. A team moved up with multiple second round picks, multiple first round picks, and multiple third round picks to get Jared Goff. Carson Wentz, the Browns traded number 2 to the Eagles. 2016 first, 2016 third, 2016 fourth, 2017 first, 2018 second. A huge package to move up. The Bills traded Marshawn Lynch to the Seahawks. 2011 fourth and 2012 fifth. Again, he wasn't that great with the Bills. I said that in one of my videos, I think 2010 decade resim. It's like, oh, he's great. He had 1,000 yards. There are so many other variables in 1,000 yards for whether a player was good or not at the running back position. Yards per carry is a big one. Like if you had 400 attempts and you had 1,000 yards, it wasn't a good season. It's just volume. Like if you get enough touches, you're going to get there. If you're even halfway decent, and not always, by the way. There have been running backs to get 1,000 yards, averaging like 3.5 yards per carry. It's just not great. But of course, situation matters. The Raiders trading Khalil Mack to the Bears. A 2019 first, a 2019 sixth, a 2020 first, and a 2023rd. And then, of course, the Washington football team trading up with the Rams, the number 2 overall pick to get RG3, a 2012 first, a 2012 second, a 2013 first, and a 2014 first. 3 first-round picks for the draft rights to RG3. So I wish we could see, like, maybe one of those big trades a year, especially with the draft. That'd be nice. Conley's got superstar dev. Great year for him. And Trevor Lawrence is starting to progress in a big way at 34 years old. Back to the focus of this video. Accuracy is still great, but you can see, you know, some other attributes taking a hit. Throw power is the big one that stands out to me. But medium accuracy and short accuracy went down like 3 or 4 as well. And just overall, he's becoming a worse player. You can see the regression there. Just took some huge hits. Some huge hits. But that doesn't mean he still won't be effective. He's still a 93 overall. Like, I think it's easy to think of that in a different light because we know he's regressing. But if you had a 93 overall quarterback, you go, that's pretty damn good. That's really, really good. Final year of his contract. He's getting paid close to $46 million in 2034. At least that's the associated cap hit. Will Trevor Lawrence sign an extension to stay in Jacksonville? Will he test free agency? What's going to happen? Maybe he's going to get franchise tagged. Maybe he signs a couple one-year deals back-to-back, and it acts like an extension. Maybe it's a one-year deal, and then he goes to free agency, or maybe he gets traded. That's not going to happen, but I will see you for the 2034 playoffs. 8-9 was good enough to win the division, but not for the Jaguars. Texans, I guess, had the tiebreaker. And what's going on? Are we seeing play? What's happening? Because we haven't even played a wild card. I don't get the passing leaders there. Those numbers are completely broken. Those are the actual ones. First offense, Trevor Lawrence still good. 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns to 13 picks. Really good year. Really good year. But the defense, I guess, wasn't up to par. 4.5 yards per carry for Trevor Lawrence. Keith Hatchett is just, you know, putting up Michael Thomas numbers. It is Saints playbook after all. He's 30, but he's still very, very good. And Sharif Short. He's no Cecil Shorts. You remember that Jags receiver. Cecil Shorts the third. This is just Sharif Short. But you can call him Sharif for short. Don't have to include the last name. Haha. Yeah, I mean, it's a good year. Let's go ahead and check out the legacy leaderboard and see where he ranks. Is he in here at all? Well, he's never really done too much. He's never really led the league in anything. Where's he for quarterback? I may have passed him. Trevor Lawrence. He's right under Trey Lance. Does have 6 yearly awards. Let's go ahead and see what those are. This is a good time to check those. See his awards. So he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. 1 Offensive Player of the Year in 2031. And Best Quarterback. And 2032 Offensive Player of the Year. No MVPs to his name. When you draft a QB at number 1 overall, the expectation is MVP at some point. That's what you're hoping for, like minimum, with the number 1 overall pick at QB. A lot of them don't ever come close to that. And even the great ones. Andrew Luck was a great number 1 overall pick. Phenomenal player. Injuries hurt him. The Colts team building at the time was not great. Chris Ballard, you know, has done a great job since taking over. But for a while there, it was pretty bad with the Colts. And not really putting a ton of talent around Andrew Luck, and certainly not emphasizing the offensive line. But he never came that close to an MVP. Peyton Manning won a few MVPs. He was a number 1 overall pick. I mean, Jamarcus Russell obviously never came close. Jared Goff never came close. Or, well, at least up to this point. I don't think Jared Goff's ever going to win an MVP. But a lot of number 1 overall pick QBs just don't do it. But that is the expectation. Team salaries. Trevor Lawrence did sign an extension. Or is that just here? Was it through 2035? He might be a pending free agent. He's 35 years old now. He's down to an 89. Throw power's taken a big hit there. Throw accuracy, still pretty good in general, but he is down to an 89. Let's see if the Jags keep him. I think this is where they're going to have to make a decision, right? Again, this is all in auto, so the CPU handles any, trades, re-signings, signings. And I hope he didn't retire. I guess that is in play at this point, but it doesn't look like he did. I think he would have popped up there at the top for me. All right, let's see if they did bring back Trevor Lawrence. The 88 offense tells me that they probably did. Or maybe he already signed an extension. Was he already signed through 2035? I could have sworn... I mean, I guess he's still going to be on the team because it's still 2034. I thought this was his final year. Maybe they signed him to a one-year deal. That could have happened. So yeah, T-Law is still under contract. 2035. I'm cool if he stays a Jag his entire career. I think in a few of these that I did last year, the guys would end up changing teams. Typically, the receivers did not, if I remember correctly. Typically, the receivers did not, but we can see stats and awards here. This is about the time where we're going to want to see career stats, as Trevor Lawrence has surpassed 60,000 passing yards, 424 touchdowns, does have 175 interceptions, but he even has, close to 3,000 rushing yards. May hit that in his career, may not. And if we check the NFL records, you can see that he is so close to getting on this list. And with guys like Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, not exactly in the league anymore, there's a realistic chance that Trevor Lawrence will be on this list by the end of this season. And now there could be other guys close. Don't know where Trey Lance is. I didn't see him on that record list, but he could have been there. Not in there. And then passing touchdowns, Trevor Lawrence is also quite shy of this. Lamar Jackson ended up on the Seahawks? Okay. Back in the playoffs. It's been a really up and down career, at least in terms of winning for Trevor Lawrence. But I'm hoping that the numbers are great. And Tyreek Terry. That's a fun name. I love alliteration, where it's like, two of the same letter to start, like two words in a row. If that makes sense, it should. That's pretty basic. Trevor Lawrence, 4th in the league in passing yards. It's over 4,800. 34 touchdowns to 12 picks. As a runner, had a touchdown, almost 200 yards. And, of course, Keith Hatchett with the most catches and yards. I feel like his attributes have not changed the entire time we've had him. Sharif Short did have 11 touchdowns, though, and even tight end Trayvon Roby had 8 touchdowns. So Trevor Lawrence, again, has not really come all that close to winning a Super Bowl, but Super Bowls are team efforts. Very rarely will you ever see, I'll even say never, you'll never see a great quarterback with a terrible defense make the playoffs and do well. Now, you can have average, maybe even some cases below average defenses, but it's a team effort. It really, really is. 99 times out of 100. I was going to say 9 out of 10 times. We want to up that to 99% instead of just 90. But again, another early exit by the Jaguars. Unfortunate, but, we're used to it at this point. Lawrence is down to an 88. Not that bad. 36 years old. Signed a multi-year extension. Technically. Well, not technically, I guess, but basically from, 2034? It's another one-year deal. He signed through 2036. It's boring to do one-year deal, but I'm not handling it, so can't change it. Trevor Lawrence stays in Jacksonville. I got it to not disconnect. You just got to go week by week and then simulate 10 years when you get to the actual end of the draft offseason, simulate to next season. Got to simulate 10 years and just cancel it. That's the only way it won't disconnect from my experience. But we will check in on 2036 Trevor Lawrence. Again, final year under contract, but we know at this point that means nothing. 36 years old. Accuracies are quickly draining below 90. They're still above it for now, but they're barely holding on. So we'll see how long that actually lasts. 36-year-old Trevor Lawrence. Does he have an MVP shot in him? Hasn't really come all that close to an MVP other than 2031. Hasn't come close to a Super Bowl other than the season where he made the conference championship. 4 Pro Bowls now. Imagine, not that Pro Bowls are the end-all, be-all. I get that. But imagine drafting a QB at #1 overall that plays on your team for 15 years and is a 4-time Pro Bowler. Trevor Lawrence is Eli Manning. I just realized that. Eli Manning, another #1 overall QB, never to win an MVP. How many Pro Bowls? 4-time Pro Bowler for Eli Manning. Trevor Lawrence is literally Eli. Except he doesn't have the Super Bowls and the Super Bowl MVPs. But you know what? He also doesn't have the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. 10-7, Jags won the division back in the playoffs. And we see Trevor Lawrence nowhere in the top 3 for passing yards. Finishes 5th, but leads the league in touchdowns. Only 11 interceptions. This could compete for an MVP year. This could do it. It may not, but it could. It could. Had a rushing touchdown as well. Keith Hatchett actually getting caught up to Bobby Rivers, 13 touchdowns. Only 24 years old. Bobby Rivers is officially the next Keith Hatchett. I think that much is going to be obvious. But we'll see awards here. Trevor Lawrence is probably going to be in the top couple. Number 3. No MVP for him. I don't know who the Express are. But there's a chance Trevor Lawrence is AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Nope. The Express are in the AFC. Sad. Career stats. T-Law over 70,000 yards and hit 500 touchdowns on the nose. NFL records. Lawrence now in the top 5 for passing yards all time. And with another season will surpass Justin Herbert, I would bet. Passing touchdowns. Lawrence is still not on the list. Again, a season away from being 7th, maybe. Beat Tennessee. Come on, Trevor. 27-24. We are on to the divisional. Steelers stand our way. We've seen this playoff matchup before a couple times in real life. And the Steelers get the best of Jacksonville. Devastating. Devastating. And that could be the end of Trevor Lawrence. It may not be, but it could be. Retirement. Don't show me Trevor Lawrence. All right. I think he's probably still in the league. But will he stay with the Jaguars? They may have re-signed him at this point already. Offense overall stays roughly the same, which leads me to believe that T-Law is still going to be here. But he's not. He's not. They have another quarterback in there. Okay. So didn't retire. That must mean he is in free agency. Let's see where he signs. Free agency recap. Where is Trevor Lawrence going? League signings, quarterback. Lawrence is headed to Minnesota. We've seen quarterbacks do this before. Brett Favre comes to mind. Except that move was a little bit more divisive going from Green Bay to Minnesota. But Trevor Lawrence continues his journey as the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Not a twist I saw coming, but one I welcome, because it gives us a little bit of variation, which is cool. Hatchett, gonna miss his quarterback probably, but look at this guy, Andrew Chamberlain. Yes, they prefer him to T-Law, but the Vikings, tell me he's gonna start at least. Okay, he will. Sometimes that happens where maybe he wouldn't even start, but he will start. Ramon Rice. Hopefully not too much like Ray Rice. Couple decent receivers, though. Caleb Logan. Larry Pickett. Larry Pickett's only 24. He could be awesome. 97 speed. Much to the build of, what's his name? Hackett? Hatchett? Pritchett? I think it was Hatchett, right? Tight end, Jimmy Winslow. Only 22 years old. 78 overall tight end with 89 speed at 6'4", 260. Jeez. But Minnesota playbook, very, very bad for quarterbacks. However, it may have changed because, you know, Mike Zimmer might not be the coach anymore. That stuff does change in simulation, which is nice. What's the Vikings playbook? Ooh, San Francisco. That is pretty power run focused. They run the ball a lot. We'll have to see what that looks like. Not looking good for the Vikings here. They did make the playoffs at 9-8. Okay. How'd Trevor Lawrence do? I could switch to the Vikings, but I don't want to change the playbook. I just want to let it rock, so we're doing it this way. In case you guys had any questions. New Jags quarterback doing pretty well. Throwing a lot of picks, though. But Trevor Lawrence threw for about 4,400 yards, 30 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. Not bad for a 37-year-old. Okay, Trevor. Rushing. 2 rushing touchdowns. The yards went down a little bit. And the tight end really led the way, as well as a receiver we didn't even talk about, Jalen Clinton. Not bad. Not bad. Jalen Clinton was pretty good. Where are we for awards? Trevor Lawrence with that touchdown to interception ratio might be in the conversation for MVP. Top 6, so not really. But for NFL records, he is now in the top 4 for passing yards. He is now number 8 for touchdowns. And with another year, is going to move up a lot. Trey Lance in there as well for TDs. Jeez. And there for yards as well. Vikings have the 3-seed Bears in the first round of the playoffs. Will Trevor Lawrence have better playoff luck in Minnesota? We shall see. Divisional round. Vikings are in to the divisional. They'll take on the 1-seed Niners in Kyle Shanahan's San Francisco playbook. I wonder what playbook the 49ers are in. We'll see if Lawrence, now in the NFC, can advance to the conference championship. And that's exactly what happens. 31-24. The Vikings will take on the Saints in the NFC Championship. We've seen this matchup in the playoffs before and recently. The Minneapolis Miracle. That ring any bells? We'll see what happens in the NFC Championship. 1 game from the Super Bowl. Will Trevor Lawrence finally play in a Super Bowl? No. Gonna be Saints-Titans. So much for that. Titans won the Super Bowl. And I'm interested to see where Trevor Lawrence is in terms of overall. I think that could heavily impact whether he retires or not. If he's down to like an 82, he could be gone. But I see 1 from the Vikings, and it's not Trevor Lawrence. Oh, that's not good for Trevor Lawrence. There's another quarterback who's got superstar X Factor, by the way. He's only 24 years old and is the same overall as Trevor Lawrence, playing up. T-Law's days as a starter, at least in Minnesota, are numbered. See his attributes there, but he's still superstar X Factor. This is going to be quite interesting. I don't think Trevor Lawrence will stay in Minnesota. I don't think he will. Now, he signed with Minnesota through 2038. I can't imagine why they would do that. I can't imagine why. You got to feel for Trevor Lawrence being, relegated to backup as a 38-year-old. It's not like he was ever, an MVP in the league, but I think based on his numbers, you could argue that he was certainly in the best quarterback conversation, at least in that 2031 time period. But I doubt there's going to be any production in 2038. And as a backup who's going to regress down into the high 70s after this year, I think there's a really good chance he retires. Let's see. Did Trevor Lawrence do anything? Praying for an injury. Hate to say that. He had 1 attempt. It was incomplete. Did he run the ball at all? He did. 4 attempts for 17 yards and a fumble. Oh, no, Trevor. No. So his NFL records pretty much are going to stop at this. Listed as Jaguars here. That's interesting considering he's on the Vikings. Will be 5th all-time in passing yards and has moved up, still actually where he is. 8th. Didn't throw a touchdown this year. Very sad for Trevor Lawrence in that sense. And as far as quarterbacks go, he is top 10 all-time for legacy score. Not that that really matters. Patrick Mahomes couldn't even chase down Brady. It's a tall task, though. Oh, my goodness. Trevor Lawrence finally gets a ring, and it's as the backup quarterback. Devastating. Devastating. Also, it's a really good year to be named Russ Warner and Russell Brunner. MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. Pretty good combo there. Is he still not going to retire? Trevor Lawrence still sticking it out. I imagine there's no way he's going to be signed through 2039, though. I guess he's a good backup, but I don't know. He's 39 now. He's down to star dev from Superstar X Factor. He got killed. Lost 2 dev traits and regressed a lot, but did get a Super Bowl, but as a backup. That's like, that doesn't count. He's still decent in terms of general accuracy, but overall, obviously a shell of the player he once was. Free agency recap does, first of all, it's not a super crazy class for Jacksonville. Thought it was at first. Quarterback. How many Hedgecocks are we going to have? Hunter Hedgecock and Glenn Hedgecock? The Hedgecock brothers? It's a fun storyline. The only Hedgecock I've ever heard of in the NFL is Madison Hedgecock. Played fullback tight end for the Giants for a while. And I guess Trevor Lawrence is still with the Vikings. He's not in here. Cop up to a 93. Trevor Lawrence did not regress nearly as much as I thought he would. Oh, is this still the same season? Why did I think he was a 77 overall? Maybe I just got that in my head that that's what he would regress to, but he didn't. I mean, he's still sitting at an 80. I know it's like the same regression cycle. I'm still just kind of surprised. I don't know why I thought he was in the 70s. But he's not going to be playing. Trevor Lawrence is 40. Question is now, did he even play at all? No. No yards again. Had 2 attempts this year. Didn't complete either of them. Had 1 attempt for 6 yards. Didn't fumble, thankfully. Yeah, he needs to retire. Just hang him up, Trevor, please. For your own good. And the Saints are playing nobody in the Super Bowl. Hope they get the win. It's going to be the Express, right? Yeah. Who are the Express? Never know. But the Express are killing it. Another Super Bowl for him. At least Super Bowl appearance. That is. But Trevor Lawrence, please. It's going to be 2040. Just retire. He's not in the retirement area. What's going on? Now he's down to a 77. Where do we see here? He's going to finish probably with 5 Pro Bowls. Shame. He's signed through 2040. He's just content to be a backup now. And at 77 overall, he really wouldn't be starting for too many teams anyways. So this is just probably where things come to an end. I want to see him retire, though. Dude, the head coach is retiring even before Trevor Lawrence. Hang him up. What does he still have to gain? You know what? I guess a lot of money. He's getting paid pretty well to be a backup quarterback. You know what? He actually did even have 16 yards this year. Finally completed that 1 passing attempt. In the past 3 seasons, he is 1 for 4 or 16 yards. But you know what? In that time, he's made a lot of money. Millions of dollars. And is under contract through 2041. All right, I can't blame him. Hate the player, not the can't hate the player, hate the game. Hate the game. I don't know. Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. It's 2 a.m. and I mean, I'm borderline illiterate, it seems anyway, right? And the Vikings brought in another quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is QB3 on the depth chart, dangerously close to being QB4. He probably shouldn't even make the team at this point just because of the money and the quarterback situation of the team. He's basically a coach at this point. Lions won a Super Bowl. It is a video game after all. That kind of stuff can happen. Trevor Lawrence, 42 now. Still just playing for that check. What's his contract? Signed through 2042. Okay. I mean, there is no, like, there's nothing going on in the video at this point. It's just Trevor Lawrence refusing to retire, and that's almost more interesting to me now than all the numbers he put up over the course of this thing. Is Trevor Lawrence ever going to retire? The Vikings are back in the Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence is trying to get another Super Bowl ring that he didn't contribute to in the least. He's probably not even going to play at all now. He made the roster. He's down to a 71. He didn't do anything in 2041. This has got to be it for him. He has to retire after this game. Will he be a 2-time Super Bowl champion? Survey says no. The Ravens do it. Hang up the cleats, Trevor. Good things got to come to an end. You're into your 40s now by a while. He is not in the transaction log. Dude, hang him up. Retire. Trevor Lawrence is QB5 on the Vikings right now. He's 43. He's a 68 overall. His throwing accuracies really aren't as bad as you would expect. I don't know how that's a 68 overall. I don't really get overall at QB, I guess, then. There's no way he makes the team, right? There's no way. He's still on roster. How? Dude, retire. He's 43. I don't know how the Vikings keep bringing him back. I don't know how they keep doing it. Let him go. It's time. The Vikings are back in the Super Bowl. You know what? Maybe Trevor Lawrence is somehow the glue that holds his team together as a player coach, and the Vikings win a Super Bowl. It's like if Jason Giambi came back to be a player manager for the Yankees. That type of a thing. Tell me he retired in 2043. It's a Viking that retired, and it's not Trevor Lawrence. Oh my God, dude. Hang him up. He's 44 years old. He is a 64 overall, and guess what? He keeps getting signed by the Vikings. He hasn't played in a game since 2041. And he probably, I don't know, held a field goal try. It's not 2042. It's 2044, right? 2043. He hasn't appeared in games, and he just keeps hanging in there, making it to next year somehow every year. Okay, the Vikings have, what is that, 7 quarterbacks on roster? Trevor Lawrence, 64, doesn't look so bad. With 2 61s on the team. He's been in the league for 23 years. He's been in the league longer than some of the players have been alive on the same roster. And he signed through 2044. The Vikings are back in the Super Bowl against the Bengals this time, and they win another one. Trevor Lawrence is now a multiple-time Super Bowl champion, and he has not played in any of those games. It's what, at least 3 Super Bowl wins? He's a schemer. He's going to make the Hall of Fame now. Dude, why are you not retiring? This is unreal. 62 overall. Can't get much worse than that. He's actually 61. Okay, please retire. How about that? Is he retired now? He's not even playing. I'm going to end the video. Dude, he's 46. God. He just keeps getting signed. He hasn't played in years. So you know what? Oh, it's unreal. It's unreal. The legend will be that he never retires. I'm not simming through an hour more of him not retiring. I've been recording the second half of this video where he has played, what, 9 seasons, 8 as a starter, and it's 2045. I've been recording just the second half for 2 hours. I'm done. Thank you for watching. Trevor Lawrence. You frustrate me. See you in the next one. Take it easy.
Insane, I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah. Promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. Papa turn, taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.